Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is All That Glitters, a Waterdeep Dragon Heist happening every Monday right here on Mini Terrain Domain on Twitch. You can catch us every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern for this, which is our 7th episode of this epic campaign being DM'd by the one, the only, Mike the Piper. And you can catch the videos on demand on YouTube on Wednesdays. I had something else I was going to say and I completely forgot what it was. So I'm going to say something else. It's been a Monday, let me tell you. In just a moment, I'm going to turn it over to the Dungeon Master, to Mr. Mike. But real quick, I want to draw your attention to down here in this central area underneath Mike, where you will see 3 dragons. Not your typical dragons, but rather the gold coins of Waterdeep. There's one flashing. Those are domain dragons. We currently have 3 of those. For 500 bits or a $5 donation, you can purchase a domain die for us, the players, to use during the game. We can re-roll any D20 roll, or we can force Dungeon Master Mike to re-roll one of his D20 rolls. Also, raids and subscriptions, resubscriptions, all those kind of good things grant domain dice as well. It's just our little way of giving you an opportunity to impact the game. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Mike. We're aiming for a little bit of a tighter game tonight to accommodate schedules. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Mike. It's your show.
That was foolish. But okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to All That Glitters. I used to dread Mondays, and now I love it. I really look forward to it. Love this campaign. All of these fine humans are fine and amazing, and it's just awesome. So what we'll do is quickly skip everything and just go right to who wants to do the intro. Well, not the intro, the recap. I'll do the intro because it's my show. But for a point of inspiration,
I did it last week, so.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I'll leave it up to somebody else.
All right.
I think V's pointing at herself.
I think. That sounds about right. Or Bevyn. I don't know. I mean, maybe Dwight's looking for that.
But I'll go. I have a point of inspiration already that I've been sitting on for a couple weeks, but I'll be glad to gift it to someone else.
Best to bank it.
So
take it.
I mean, technically,
Bevyn had some interesting things happening. That's why I think it'd be cool if
you we're all over the multiple points of inspiration.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, last week we picked up with Bevyn having disappeared from the goings on, and he spent the first half or so of the adventure last week making some inroads into the underworld, and in doing so, he both had a chance to step in and cut a pickpocket event off at the knees, but chose not to. And was yelled at by the young noble woman who had some stuff stolen. He went on his way, made his way to the yawning portal, where he tried to pick a fight with the Zentarum, being a little bit of a cocky son of a bitch like he tends to be, and but has made some inroads with the Zentarum as well. But while in the market, thought he was pickpocketed, but turns out he was actually had somebody slip a brooch into his pocket, which he quickly realized belonged to the young noblewoman that he had encountered earlier. He sought her out and tried to return it, and wound up going to the opera with her, and then going on a little bit of a snazzy little date. Got to see a different, lighter side of Bevyn last week. So and crossed paths with his roommates as they made their way to the opera as well, which had played out the week before. as he whistled and skipped his way back to the Nobody's Inn, he stumbled in on, well, really nothing. He just went in and went to bed. But apparently there was some sort of strange, nefarious spirit in the inn, and had caused some pretty poor sleep for his friends while he slept like a baby. Actually, one of the better nights of sleep he's had. With dreams of fine young ladies in his head, and not quite so much for his friends as they fought some sort of demon or some sort of spirit in their dreams, and woke up. Well, Six thought it was just a dream and didn't really think anything of it, but after cooking a large breakfast for his companions, came to realize there was something wrong at the Nobody's Inn, and then they needed to do something about it before they fixed it up and spent the time to get things up and running. So that kind of leaves us where I believe that's where we left off, and we'll pick up there.
All right, sounds good. Get yourself a point of inspiration. Well done. So if there are no questions from anyone, we'll just dive right into it. As your forks clatter against the flatware or the tableware, your breakfast now a decimated ruin of egg yolk and bacon bits, unless of course Six decides to inhale it all, and other such bits. Your conversation from the last session ended with you all looking to get a priest or priestess or someone in to figure out just what the heck this capricious spirit wants. Totally not your blood, but possibly your blood. So, of course, as all DMs would ask, what would you like to do?
I'm thinking that Kiara might want to be heading back to Timora's temple to see if perhaps there might be a recommendation for someone over in the light division of things who might be able to help us out.
Kiara, you said that you didn't want any help for that. Is that correct? You want to do that on your own?
Well, I can certainly go by myself. It's just one of those things that might take a little bit of tact is the only thing.
Well, then you're probably going to want me along. If it's tact you're looking for. By tact, you mean somebody that is a smooth talker. Suave.
No, actually, quite the contrary. Someone who will let me do the talking as needed and not so much the showmanship, which I know you're going to put to great use once we get the tavern pulled together.
Don't think I don't know what you're doing, but I accept.
I'm complimenting you and correcting you at the same time.
Like I said, I know what you are doing, and I accept it.
Just making sure we're on the same page. Honestly, I wouldn't mind the company, but it's just a matter of holding your own tongue.
I know you're making another joke about the cat's got your tongue.
Well, it is rather easy sometimes, but your company would be appreciated. I just need to make sure that while we're talking to certain people that perhaps I should do the talking and you can do the smiling.
I cannot guarantee that.
If I give you a saucer of milk, will you behave?
I do not accept that one. That's one too far. I will allow you to do this thing. This thing with Timora and the gods. This is seems to be something that comes natural to you. Admittedly, it is not something that comes natural to you.
Well, let's just say I was born into it.
I think I will let you go do this thing. I kind of want to see where it is that Anna goes off to during the days and the nights. Anna could use some accompaniment, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'm going to go and ready myself, if you don't mind, and I'll let you know how it goes. I'm going to go up to my room.
And the other three of you?
I'm waiting to see what Anna's going to do.
What was the what's the name of the spirit gave us last week? I did not take that down.
Lif, L-I-F.
I've heard this name before. I met a fine noblewoman last night. Seemed to know quite a bit about the history of this place. Maybe it's worth a visit to her. See if we can find out some more.
Noblewoman? You don't seem like the type, Bev, to be talking with... I haven't seen you talk to no noblewoman lately.
Well, there's this matter of the crossbow in my face. Couldn't really get away from talking to her. Turned out she's all right. Not the noblest of nobles, from what I could tell.
Anna, I think we've let Bevyn wander around the city by himself a little too much. Perhaps the both of us should go with him and see this noblewoman.
Do you really want to do that? Do you really want to... That's not really... And she's kind of like looking from Six to Bevyn.
Well, I've already made it clear that I am very anxious to start to fix this place up. I don't like that we are living in a very dusty and, well, to be frank, this place that we are living in and that we hope to turn into a business, it kind of feels like wearing somebody else's breeches. It's dirty, it's lived in, it's inhabited by ghostly spirits, but you won't let me spend any money to fix it up until we get rid of the ghosts, which Kiara is going to take care of. So in the meantime, we need to find something to do.
We could always just sell the place.
And what would be the point of that?
Get some money, not have to deal with this, whatever it is, not look, too far into things.
But if we fix this place up, then we have a place that we can call our home, that can be a place we can always come back to, instead of just the streets. If we sell it, yes, we make some coin, and then that coin is gone. But if we fix this place up, then coin, it comes in, and it continues to come in. Then we have a steady stream of income to supplement whatever other activities we may find ourselves getting up to.
I tend to be one that likes the idea of a legitimate business for a front. A source of income. So what do we need to do to fix it up? Is that something we can work on while Kiara is away?
Well, that was what I wanted to get started on, and then you all said last night, or this morning, or whenever it was, you said that you did not want to spend money on it until we got rid of these ghosts.
We don't have to spend the money, but we can start making inroads into the finding out who's going to do the work for us.
Well, we already know that we need to work with the guilds in order to get the work done. We need to contact several different guilds, the furniture's guilds and the carpenter's guilds and whatever else. There's probably a guild for the curtains and the carpets and the bedding and the nightstands and the candles and the candelabras. And every time I hear guild, I hear gold.
That sounds so boring.
I rather thought you liked the sound of coin.
Coin, yes. Drapery color, not so much.
Well, that is something you do not need to worry about. You have already seen that I have impeccable tastes when it comes to choosing color palettes that are complementary to both the person and to the establishment.
All right, Bev, I think we have to go with him.
Bev's just kind of shaking his head like, what? I don't even know.
And for the first time in a long time, 4 players got together to make the best decision of their entire lives. As you begin to, I assume you'll be talking as you're cleaning up, unless you want to leave all the dirty plates and everything else. Surely nothing horrible would happen as a result of that. Okay, so as you clean up, get the dishes. I'm assuming while Anna stands there and laughs at the fact that you're cleaning and doing dishes, you get ready to go. Assuming at this point, probably you are dressed, Kiara, and probably I don't know if you're wearing. Are you wearing like priestly vestments, or are you just wearing something nice?
I'm just wearing something, nice but muted, like understated, nothing too flashy or too attention grabbing.
Oh, like that turtleneck that's like really, really cute, but it doesn't make too much of a statement.
Absolutely.
What? I have a turtleneck that does that. So
I'm sure you do, and I'm sure it looks fantastic on you.
I don't. I only wear hoodies. I'm really boring.
So you're dropping hints for Christmas gifts then, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a basic bro. I'm okay with that. Anyway,
Yeah.
So as you make your way down, now are all 4 of you going to leave at once, or just a couple of you? Or like who's going to leave?
I did want to quickly ask you all before leaving, did we want to approach Silvermane about his invitation to speak with us?
Silvermane, that was the big brute at the yawning portal, yes?
That is correct.
I mean, I don't want to speak for the others, but perhaps it is not a bad thing to check out all of our opportunities.
I'm of the same thinking. It couldn't hurt, so maybe I could always see if you might want to come and visit us later this afternoon. Or do we want to go to the awning portal instead and hope that we can catch him there?
I don't know. What do you think, Bevyn? Anna? Do we want to invite anybody to this, the place in the current state it is in?
Wouldn't mind going to the portal again.
Portal it is. Then I will let him know that we'd like to meet with him later, and I'm going to see if I can make any progress with our unexpected guest, to put it kindly.
All right. So as you exit, as you walk through the front door and down the steps, you're greeted by a very interesting sight. You see a lot of the residents of Troll Skull Alley kind of lined up outside their homes. Their servants are standing in front of them, and they all seem to be standing in a line. You see a kind of, I guess you, for the better part, a druid dressed up in what seems to be very high priestly robes, very nice vestments, and he is going from door to door, stopping, and as you observe, the servants walk out first and appear to be kneeling and receiving a blessing. Only once the servants have been taken care of do the owners of the home, these slightly more wealthier people, come out and also receive a blessing. And you see the priest moving from home and then receiving it. And you see the owners of the home giving a dragon, and then the priest moving on to the next home. You see on the back of the robes a very very beautiful stylized unicorn head. And if anyone wants to know who this individual is or what this individual represents, you could make me a religion check.
That's going to be a 19.
Okay, you would know that this is a priest of Mieliki, who is the goddess of autumn and the good-natured goddess of druids, dryads, forests, forest creatures, rangers, so on and so forth.
I think that Anna would look to Kiara. What's all this about? He looks like he's got a pretty good gig going.
Well, I mean, it is the autumn time, and he's blessing everyone for their homes and for the time of season. It's actually quite a lovely ritual, if you ask me. Never hurts to have extra blessings and extra support from those of higher levels of existence.
So you say a few words, you get a dragon.
Well, there's a little bit more to it than just that, but it does sum it up rather succinctly when you put it that way.
I think it's brilliant.
The priest at this point stops as he's making his rounds, stops in front of your stairwell and looks up to you.
I'm going to nod my head in acknowledgement to him, and I'll walk down and hand him a silver piece.
And he takes a silver piece and he smiles, and he begins to kind of do like his like kind of like a kind of symbol, like it's like kind of like a somatic symbols that relate to Mieliki, and he speaks in what sounds to be like a kind of a very old Waterdeepian dialect, and he blesses you. And when he finishes, he speaks in common. May you sow the seeds of peace and reap the harvest of prosperity. Thank you, my child, for this on Harvest Blessing Day. And he begins to walk down to the next one. And again, once the kind of blessings are done, most of the people, like the servants, go back to tending to their employers' homes and everything else. But from what you can gather, it seems to be that it is something where like Harvest Blessing Day is a kind of a day that celebrates the not only the like reaping of crops and plants, the like fattening of cattle and other animals. It's also a time of kind of having, like, especially those who work for others, it is their time to reap the rewards and the benefits of like their work throughout the entire year, where like a gold dragon given to Mieliki's priests, they're given a blessing. And I mean, you can see that all the servants working and walking just feel more energized, more alive. They seem to have a little spring in their step, and they seem happier. And they're just working, continuously, just continue to working, kind of in a very peaceful kind of way.
I'm going to look over my shoulder and smile at the others and be like, well, I'm going to go off now and see if we have any luck with bringing in someone to help us with our little situation. Have fun searching for draperies, everyone. I'll speak to you later. Perhaps meet at the yawning portal, say 2?
Anna would kind of mockingly make the sign that the druid gave. May you reap the benefits of perspiration.
Best not to do that. You can bring yourself some bad luck doing things like that, my dear.
I'm sure that the god doesn't give 2 shites about us.
Well, I'm rather certain that Tainora would not be happy to hear something like that coming from my own mouth, so for your sake, may Taimora be watching over your shoulder today after that one. And then I'm just going to sort of scamper off. I'm going to go a different way.
I'm not exactly one who attends the temple on regular worship days or anything, Anna. But I'm also not one to taunt the gods. It is best not to give them reason to pay a closer attention to you. I'm just saying, you're taking your luck into your own hands.
Always have, always will. I just think, gods. Why would they want to have anything to do with me? Or anyone else? They're busy doing god things. I don't know.
I don't have much use for him either, Anna. Well, let's be on our way.
I'm thinking, perhaps, and I imagine as we start walking, I'm just start going off about all these different things that we need to do to fix up the place, ideas for a stage, and ways to present lighting in the tavern to best illuminate the performers, and different kinds of ales and foods and things we can do to fix up our living spaces, etc., etc., etc. But I do think that we should probably look into maybe hiring somebody, maybe a couple of employees that can work for us to help us with the cleaning and the arrangement, so we aren't having to do it all ourselves. I mean, think about this. We're going to go off to have a meeting with the Silvermane fellow, which means there is no work being done at the Nobody's Inn. But if we had employees working for us, they could be working while we are doing these things. Remember those dishes we did this morning? We wouldn't have to do those.
It's a good idea. I think we ought to start with a manager. Somebody that can look after the place for us properly while we're gone.
Well, I do know, based on what Mr. Fairkettle had to say, it sounds like we're going to want to be very careful about making sure we are doing everything within the proper channels. It sounds like it could be very expensive. We operate outside the normal guild expectations. So, do you want to maybe work on fixing up our place of residence, or getting the inn and tavern portion itself ready?
Well, again, until we get things figured out, I don't think we need to make any final decisions. But I think we can get out and figure out, find who we want to work with. Just do some interview some of the guild members. Find out who can do the work for us. Maybe find a couple of those employees you're talking about.
I might have talked with some people who said that they would give us a discount. That is before I flip them off.
Always with the charm there, Anna.
It does not surprise me in the least.
But maybe I did tell them we would come back. So maybe if you two were here, they would forget, you know.
Who are these people that you spoke to?
Two old gents, and she would kind of point the way she walked from.
It seems as good a place to start as any. I'll just gesture in the direction that she pointed. And
so as you, whoa, that map though.
Yeah, I just tried searching for Nobody's Inn. They do not have our custom name in this Waterdeep map.
I tried to change it, and they won't. You can't change it. But oh well. So you begin, like, as you guys begin to walk, it takes you like all of like 25 seconds. You see a smithy, and it is a rather interesting place. Open, kind of an open area that's kind of side attached to a home. You see two gentlemen working. One with like a kind of a fiery red and almost orange hair, almost looks like flame, shooting kind of like wild in all directions, and he's like kind of gripping what looks to be gripping a sword blade with his bare hand and hammering it. And as he's hammering it, you see another gentleman with kind of like very tightly braided, almost kind of a turquoise hair or teal hair, kind of pulled up tightly, and even the skin has this kind of like a slight kind of almost bluish, almost teal tint to it, and he's just kind of moving this water out of a barrel and kind of moving it around and quenching it, and this huge hiss of steam comes like shooting out, almost covering the entire smith shop. You see a sign above, which looks like kind of a fireball and this kind of like water ball, for lack of a better term, kind of like together, and it just says steam and steel.
This is right across the alley from the Bent Nail, is it not?
I'm actually just quickly looking. Yes, pretty much, yeah.
Because we talked to the elf that worked there with the carpentry. Just getting my bearings.
No worries. So as you guys are standing there staring at these two, eventually the gentleman with the teal hair kind of stops for a moment and, "Oh, go on, Avi," and he kind of like wipes off his hands. "Hello," and then he sees you, Anna. "Oh, hello. Have you come to flip us off again?"
So Bevyn's just going to kind of, with his elbow, kind of nudge Anna in the back and just kind of push her forward a couple of steps.
I'm sorry I did that. It was wrong.
Hang on a sec.
Six is staring at you.
Did hell freeze over? Hold on.
Hold up. No. Hold up. Is that exactly how you're going to say it?
Yeah.
Make me a deception check. And I'm gonna do an insight check.
Well, 6 completely believes her.
All right.
I got an 18.
Well, you're very lucky. Oh, well, that's quite all right. I guess sometimes we just get a little bit angry, a little bit flustered, and then he kind of shouts back, Embrick, put that down for a moment. The rest of them are here. Come on, they're the ones that bought the troll skull. And Embrick kind of just lets go of the still like very hot steel, and he kind of like wipes his hands. All right. So, how can we help you today?
Well, our friend Anna here was just telling us that she had made your acquaintance, and I'm rather pleased to see that she has taken it upon herself to apologize for her behavior, even though we weren't here to see it. But she tells us, and we can clearly see, that you work with steam and steel. You forge metal things, yes?
You must be the brains of the operation. And then Avi's like, Embrick, come now. Yes, we're the smiths around here. As a matter of fact, you'll not find another smith, at least until you hit the sea ward or the castle ward. We do most of the tools, weapons, shields, anything you need. Is there anything you're looking for?
Well, as you are already aware, we are the new owners and proprietors of what was formerly known as Troll Skull Manor, what is now known as Nobody's Inn. But it will be once we get the signs made and the official paperwork put in, and etc., etc. But the place, well, you can see it from here. It is in a state of disrepair.
Well, you're not wrong. It's been a while. Not since Paul Liff was murdered. Oh, that was tragic.
Wait. Did you say Liff?
Oh, yes. He was the owner before Volothamp came and bought it off of his estate. But he was murdered. And then Embrick finishes Avi's sentence. Probably about they say about 2 years. Yo, yes, 2 years now. Oh, such a shame. He was such a good-natured man. Never said a bad thing to anyone. Always helpful. Oh.
Can you think perhaps with this Leaf person? Would he maybe have any unfinished business?
Oh, I don't know. He loved the Troll Skull Manor. Oh, sorry. He loved the Nobody's Inn, I guess you call it now. But he loved that place. It meant more to him than anything. You know, he grew up in the field ward. And, I don't think I need to tell you how destitute many of those poor folk are. But he saved up and he worked for years and years, ever since he was just a little urchin. And then he finally got enough money to buy it cheaply after that unfortunate business with the orphanage. You remember that, Embrick? Oh, yeah, that was so... And he's still, like, shaking his head and, like just cringing. Yes, that was terrible. Oh. Anyway, he bought it and he babied that place. Oh, always cleaning. If he wasn't cleaning, he was serving. If he wasn't serving, he was doing more cleaning. He worked hard enough for 4 regular folk, but he still made time to hire a bunch of folk around here that still needed a second chance. That's where he was. Heart as big as a dragon.
So you were talking about the nails last time we were here, or last time I was here.
Oh, that? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. And he's looking at you like sideways. What about them?
Well, just that you had them, right?
Oh, it's an unfortunate thing. Someone came and bought them all. Shame, really. Oh, hang on. And he goes back to a shelf and pulls it out. And He's about to hand it to you, Anna, and then he turns and hands it to Bevyn. Here, think of it as a bit of a, I don't know, house, tavern, warm and present, or something like that. If maybe you were so inclined, Embrick and I always do like to have a drink around lunchtime. Perhaps maybe we can work out a bit of a deal. You can have the nails, of course, but if there's anything else, just let us know and maybe we can work something out.
It's a very fine offer you got there. Happy to make your acquaintance. My name is Bevyn.
I'm Avi. Nice to meet you. And this here's Embrick. And he sticks out his hand. And as you kind of get close to the hand, you can feel the heat. It's like if you put your hand over top of like an extremely hot element, like you're just kind of getting close. And then he's like, maybe not. And he goes over to the bucket and he plunges his hand in the bucket and you just see this huge thing, billow of steam out. And then he kind of wipes his hand on his apron and he shakes your hand. If at any time you need something, let us know. I hope you'd be going through the guilds, though.
That is our absolute intention, is to work within the established system of the guilds.
A very good idea. There was once a tavern, just up north from where we are right now. Let's just say that he decided to do most of the work himself. Strangely enough, though, a lot of his shipments were running late. Mind you, it also didn't help that he tried to swindle a few of the carpenters' guilds, and he also said that the the plumbers and cellarers guild, he told the guild master that she reminded him of his brother, which is never a good thing when you speak to a dwarf like that. So as you can well imagine, it was not a very good scene. He ended up closing up shop. But work within the guilds, and they're your best mates. Matter of fact, and you see Avi knocking on what looks to be like a cast black iron symbol. It looks to be like a shield with an anvil, 2 crossed hammers. Then it looks like to be a chain and I guess some other kind of tool. We're part of the Armorers and Weaponsmiths Guild ourselves, proud owners. I think that you're going to have a wonderful time working with the guilds. They're great people.
So, if you are to be in our position, where we have purchased this inn and tavern in the state it is in, and we have met Mr. Fairkettle.
Oh, Broxley. Oh, he's lovely.
Where exactly would be the best place for us to start?
Well, I mean, you could go down and visit the Fellowship Hall, the Guild Hall of Innkeepers. They're down in on Waterdeep Way and Warriors Way, I think. And Embrick's just if you go down the high road all the way into the trades ward, you can find on Telshambra Street. That would be the Stone House. And Avi says, "Oh yes, the Stone House. That's the guild hall for the carpenters, the roofers, and the plasterers. You might want to give them a shot as well. They'll probably hook you up with someone that'll gladly look over your place and do the work for you."
Well, it seems to me that we are most fortunate that Anna ran into you the other day, and even more so, doubly fortunate that she introduced us to you both today. Embrick and Avi I am 6 days into summer. You may call me Six. It has been an absolute pleasure to make your acquaintance, and I hope that we can work closely together in the future.
Well, that would be lovely. Thank you. And have yourself a very pleasant day, Bevyn. And then they stop and look at you for a second. And you as well, young Miss Anna.
This is the part where you say, thank you, good day, Anna. Try it.
Bye. And she would just leave.
And
I
go,
just kind of look at Embrick and Avi and just kind of shrug like, what are you going to do?
Hey,
I'll just reach out and shake hands one more time as we walk away.
Yeah, and they both shake her hand. And now we go. Kiara, you're standing in front of the Tower of Luck. And as you walk in, you see that the temple is a little bit less gamey than it was. You see a few pews have been set up, a few kind of more militant, kind of paladin-y type people wearing kind of either like chainmail that has been like, it seems to have been like kind of painted gold, or kind of like leather armor with like kind of like brass, like highly polished brass studs. Many of them are kind of speaking to other, like some of the priests and whatnot, and gaining blessings. As you walk in, you see a very familiar, short, elderly halfling woman. And she kind of walks up to you and, oh, hello. Fancy meeting you here again.
I couldn't stay away for too long now, could I?
No, you probably can't.
Well,
So, are you here for Taimora's blessing, or are you here on some other business?
well, perhaps both. Tamora's been quite good to me lately, I will say that, thankfully, but unfortunately it seems that our place of business and home might have something of an extra resident that we weren't expecting, of the more supernatural variety.
Oh, what kind would that be?
Well, quite frankly, if I may be blunt, it seems to be our house is haunted.
Oh, well.
Yes.
Well,
Now, I know it's not exactly in our realm to deal with such issues, but perhaps you might know of someone in the area that I could seek out their help to assist us in maybe helping whatever spirit might be lingering to go to a much better place than where they're staying currently.
Oh, there's quite a few people you could probably speak to. Well, you could go to the, where is it now? Oh, you could go to the Hospice of St. Lopson. That's on Andamar Street, right in kind of the south end of the North Ward, and kind of around the Castle Ward. And that's the Temple to Ilmater. Who else then am I thinking? Well, you could, no, Tyr wouldn't exactly help you. Oh, you could go to the Spires of the Morning. Oh, that's a lovely place, and that's the Temple of Lysander. I mean, if you really wanted to, it's a bit of a stretch, but you could try to go to the Temple of Beauty, the Temple of Soon, though you might not have a very good time there.
Well, perhaps Lysander might be the best bet in this situation. That as much light as possible could be good, let's put it that way.
Well, certainly. So yes, then if Lysander, then you might want to go to the Spires of the Morning. And she kind of like peers outside. Well, I think at this time of the morning, I think their prayers are finished and they'll be doing what they do. So you might want to go try them. You'll find the Temple of Lysander near the Field of Triumph in the Sea Ward, just on Julthun Street.
That's quite helpful. I'm quite glad I came here. Perhaps that blessing might be in order, though, because I just feel a little bit off today, if that makes any sense.
Of course. And she kind of places her hand on yours, and you feel this kind of glow inside of you. And as she's mumbling a few words in a language that you really don't understand, like it's not any type of a halfling language or like any type of human language that you're aware of. It's not Sylvan or Elven. It doesn't even sound like Draconic. It's a language that you really don't. It almost sounds like she's speaking in tongues, but there's too much fluidity to it that it makes it sound like an actual language. And when she's done, you feel better, and you kind of receive this blessing. And mechanically speaking, your next roll, whatever it is, will be with advantage.
Ooh, okay.
Only once, though. You get one roll. Yeah. And so she kind of smiles and kind of pats your hand lightly and says, "All right, well, then you've got some work to do. Be safe. And remember, there's devils in the dark." And she just walks away. And as you look at her and smile, like she seems to kind of just meld in with the crowd.
I'm going to give like a little sigh of relief because it helps me feel a little bit better having touched base with my Timora. And I'm going to exit the temple, but before I leave completely, I'm going to pull out a little black velvet pouch from my pocket and pull out this tiny fox figurine.
Okay.
And it's going to turn into an actual white fox. I'm going to lean over and pet its head and whisper in its ear, "Now go and find Silverman and ask us to meet us, please, at the Yawning Portal at 2 p.m. sharp. If you could, please, my dear Wisp." And it's going to trot off and do its own little thing.
All right. So it bounds, and just as it's bounding out, you see kind of a young priest. "Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. There's no animals allowed near. You'll have to take that critter outside then."
"Oh, it's not an actual animal. It's a figurine."
And he just kind of looks at you blankly. Right. And he kind of turns around and he just goes back to his duties. So from there, so I'm assuming you'll be going to the
yeah, let's go to the spires. Yeah, let's go there.
So you will see it, and if you want to look on your map from the Tower of Luck, it's actually not that far off. You just gotta head the map down until you see kind of a large shield-shaped building. Yeah, and then it's like that one little yellow dot that's right down on Jolthun Street.
All right, cool.
So for the three of you, you guys are heading down to the stone house. Are you going to be stopping at the the Guild Hall of Innkeepers, or are you just guys going to head straight to the stone house?
I would personally like to to talk to the people at the stone house about fixing up the place before we worry about getting licensed or associated with the Innkeepers Guild.
Sounds good. Once you get to this place, and it takes you a little while, it takes you about 25 minutes, possibly even half an hour to walk down. And as you're walking down, you kind of notice that everyone is very much in this kind of harvest day blessing, this harvest blessings day. A lot of folks are walking around. Everyone just seems a little bit nicer to each other. Even given in a large city where people are usually, everyone just seems a little bit more cheery. Everyone, people are saying good morning to each other, and young people are helping out more, and it just seems like everyone seems to be in a little bit more high spirits. As the three of you are walking by, one such individual, "Morning to you folk, happy harvest blessing day," and carries on walking. As you guys keep walking, you eventually make it to the stone house, and it is a curious state. this guild hall, where many homes seem to be not exactly square. They're a little bit like, some are a little bit crooked, some, kind of lends to this, kind of very what you would consider to be typical medieval fantasy city. This building, though, looks completely geometrically perfect. Like each stone has been carved like to a razor's edge at each corner, and each brick and each stone, each wooden beam that seems to be supporting this building seems to be done and done perfectly, to a point where like it's almost like you could like look at this thing and the angles are just incredible. The building has what looks to be a trowel, a hammer, and various other building tools kind of beautifully etched into these two very large, very like gorgeous dark wood doors, these two double doors. As you make your way inside, you see a few people kind of seated. One person's kind of like talking excitedly to another, someone, like some person sitting at the kind of a desk area. You're greeted by someone. Good day, welcome to the Guild Hall of Carpenters, Stonemasons, Plasterers. How may I help you today?
Well, it is incredibly. I'm just looking around at just all of the incredible work, and for a moment stumbling over my words. It is just amazing, the intricacy of the work in this place. And I kind of turned to Bevyn and Anna for just a moment. I knew these men from far to the north. Luskin, I think. He was I believe they called him a mason. He was incredibly skilled with the stonework, and you would not believe how well this man, he played the bagpipes. It was a fine fellow, but that is a story for another time. But anyway, yes, I think we have come to the right place, Bevyn and Anna. Hello, my name is 6 Days Into Summer. These are my associates, Bevyn and Anna. I'm sure you can tell which is which.
Well, and how may the guild help you today?
Well, we are the new owners and soon-to-be proprietors of the Nobody's Inn, formerly known as Troll Skull Manor.
Oh! About time you showed up. Hang on. McKen! And he just kind of like yells into the back of the thing. You see a kind of a tall, very broad-shouldered, very muscular individual who seems to be like straining under this kind of linen shirt that he's wearing. He has kind of a chestnut hair done into like almost like warrior braids and pulled tightly back up and kind of tied up with this green kind of silk ribbon. Yes. McKin, Troll Skull Manor. And he kind of walks away. I was wondering when you would show up. I've heard it from Mr. Fairkettle that you 3?
One of our associates is attending to other business at the moment.
Fair. You had recently bought a tavern and it needs some repairs and fixing up. I was told to get ready to greet you and go over what we needed to. If you'd like, we could go have a look. I can give you a quote and can begin as soon as you are ready to remit a payment.
Well, of course, I absolutely understand that this is how these kinds of business is conducted, and of course, we would escort you back to the trolls, the Nobody's Inn, and as you say, allow you to assess, estimate, and remit payment. I'm trying desperately to sound like I know what I'm talking about.
And he turns to you, Bevyn. Does he always just repeat everything I say right back? Is there a reason for that?
Pretty much daily, yeah.
Has he been kicked in the head by a horse or something?
More than once, I would guess.
Fair enough. Right. Well, luckily the guild has a carriage. Why don't we just hop right in and we can go right there? All right.
After you.
All right. And he kind of goes and talks to someone really quick who kind of runs out the back, and like in this like beautiful like brick laid road, a little like kind of like an alley behind the stone house. You see kind of a simple, it's not a fancy carriage by any means. It's like nothing better than a wagon. A young woman kind of has the reins and kind of holds it there and just kind of waiting for you all to hop in, which I assume you do. And with the wagon starts going back to Troll Skull Manor. The spires of the morning are just a sight to behold. 3 massive towers, but in kind of a Y formation, kind of move in with what looks to be kind of arched gantryways or walkways, covered walkways that go from tower to tower to tower to this kind of main, rather large church that has kind of these 2 large domes, and in the kind of right above the stone, these beautiful marble doors, you see the symbol of Lysander, which is this sun, this massive sun with 6 rays and this kind of pathway going towards the sun, kind of into the distance.
I'm going to walk up to the marble doors and kind of rearrange myself and just make sure I'm looking pulled together and everything like that, and going to knock, feeling a little bit out of my element because this is not my Timora's temple at all.
Yep, you knock on the thick, heavy marble doors, and it's as you would expect. It's flesh and bone hitting, probably a good 2 feet thick of marble, and makes nothing but a dull rapping sound that you can feel and you can hear, but you don't think anyone else can.
Do I see like a pulley or like a bell type of thing?
You don't.
I guess I'm going to try pushing my way in.
All right. So as you, are you going to try and push both doors or just one?
Oh, just the one.
Okay. Yeah, you're not feeling strong. So as you as you kind of put your hands to the door, it's almost as if you can just push it with one finger. It just seems to glide open. And you can see now what you couldn't see from the outside because you were facing it, but this massive stained glass window that is catching the morning sun, illuminating this beautiful kind of green glass mosaic pathway that leads to this kind of center large pews and this huge dais. You see a few people kind of cleaning up and like just mopping and making sure everything's nice. As you walk in, a few people, especially as you kind of open the door to let a little bit more light in, a few people kind of turn their heads and look at you and then go back to cleaning. A young woman comes to you.
Hello. Welcome to the Temple of Lysander. And
the spires of the morning, and she bows. How may the Morning Lord assist you today? And she smiles.
Yes, good morning to you. That was very well said. Thank you. I've just come from my own temple, and I was recommended to you because it seems that my place of dwelling and business might have a slight issue with the spirit remaining a little bit longer than it ought to put it kindly. I was hoping that perhaps I could speak to one of the clerics who might be well-versed in helping troubled spirits move on to where they ought to be and leave places where they ought not to be.
Okay. And she turns around and kind of hurriedly kind of rushes off. She comes back with this dwarven woman. Well, who is it? Oh, right. Hello. I am Ingra. It's a pleasure. I'm a cleric here of Lysander. How may I help you?
Hello, Ingra. I'm Timora. I usually worship Timora, but it seems that unfortunately my darling Timora cannot help me as much as it seems your Lysander might be able to help me and my companions with the situation we're having at our home. We're quite worried that we might actually have some sort of spirit lingering in the dwelling, if you will. There's not really a good way to put this, is there?
No. I quite understand. All right. Where is this? Where is this place?
Well, originally it was called Trollskull Manor.
Oh, right. Yeah. No. It's fine. Oh, that was Lift's old place. Oh no.
Yes, we've heard the name Lift come up, and
right. Well, look. Usually there's a fee. But what I'm going to do, we're going to forego the fee. However, you know what? Just come with me. And she kind of like, you see her walk out the door with you, and she just places her hand on the door, and the door just kind of automatically just kind of closes. And you begin to walk towards Trollskull Manor. She begins to kind of look. Here's how things work. See, everyone thinks that the Morning Lord is all about smiting the undead and destroying ghosts and zombies and skeletons and liches and all that. To a greater degree, yes. However, when it comes to ghosts, we like to be a little bit more understanding. We don't just purge a place of ghosts. We want to know why. Why is the spirit who is not moved on yet? So if it's all right with you, what I would like to do is go in and speak to the spirit. And but I would need a bit of privacy. Is that something that can happen? Is that all right?
Oh, quite frankly, I'm quite happy to hear that that's your approach. I didn't want to terrify the poor thing, but clearly we have something that's troubled and remaining, but I'd rather much know it's gone to rest as opposed to being sent off somewhere.
No, completely. And quite a lot of people knew of Liff and so some of the great things that he's done. So if it is Liff's spirit, I would like to maybe have, I'd like to entreat with him and find out exactly what happened and what's made this spirit so angry. I've heard from some people who've snuck in and even from Volo. Apparently this ghost was a bit of a mischief maker, and if anything, he just liked to clean, like to keep the place tidy and quite nice. And so if you're saying that he's haunting, if he's being dangerous, and something's quite wrong.
Well, it's become rather malicious, and it seems that I can confide in you, right? You won't release this amongst others, correct?
Oh, no, of course.
Well, last night, we seem to have had a shared dream where the spirit has gone from doing things like turning on the sconces and putting fire in the fireplace going for us to stabbing one of us in our sleep.
Oh.
So, needless to say, the concern is rather heightened because, well, quite frankly, I don't want anything happening to one of my dear companions. And
no, of course not. No, of course not. Hey, everybody! No, I'm only joking. And she screams that out, and like the people like turn around and look. Like, no, it's all right. Go back to your business. No,
I like your humor.
No, dearie. No, you're fine. You're fine. Something happened, and we're going to have to pick up right to the bottom of it. So, and you know, continue walking, and she'll continue talking with you. Bevyn, Anna, and Six, you guys arrive at the tavern portion. Kind of parks the young lady parks the wagon kind of in front. Micken hops out and says, "Well, show me this tavern of yours."
Right this way, if you will. I'll just lead him up to the front door and.
Yeah, and as he walks in, he's like, he kind of like he has his tools with him, and he's got a few kind of like a measuring sticks, a few measuring sticks and things like that, because tape measures weren't invented yet. So he walks in, and he just like you just hear this his tools just kind of hit the ground as he looks. Oh, this is going to need a lot of work. This is going.
This is just the tavern.
Oh, all right. We can work with this. We can work with this. And so he begins walking around. All right. Well, you're going to need new furniture. I know someone who can help with that. Going to need. Let's have a look. And he kind of looks. Oh, the bar top's pretty good. That can be salvaged. See a little bit of mice damage here. We're gonna have to fix some of that. Let's have a look in the kitchen. And he starts walking around, walks into the kitchen. Oh, kitchen's not in bad shape. This is nice. This is good. Well, I shouldn't have a problem here. And he, he just basically does a tour around, looks around the bar, looks at the shelving. So the shelving seems like it's okay, but it could use a little bit of a fix up. The hearth definitely needs to be fixed up. Different weather temperatures have cracked the mortar, and like some of the stones are really loose. Kind of looks into all the other little areas. And after about 10-15 minutes, he kind of comes back, and he has like a piece of charcoal and kind of a piece of paper, and he's kind of writing things down. Goes into the basement, writes some things down, and then comes back. Right. Well, having a look at the entire place, it's going to cost around 1,000 gold. And it'll take around a 10-day. If you want to spend more than 1,000, I can have it done in 8 days, perhaps 7.
Did he also look? Did he look at the upstairs living quarters as well, or is this just the tavern?
This is just the tavern. Was there something else you needed to look at?
Well, we have taken up residence in the upper floors. And,
do you feel that there's a problem with the foundation, or some issues with the flooring, rotted timbers, or something like that?
I guess this is more a question for you, the DM.
Out of character style.
Yeah, the living quarters, are they more just in like old and dusty and in need of cleaning and updating? Or
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you cast elbow grease, I'm pretty sure you can get it cleaned, and it'll look nice.
a 10 days worth of prestidigitation, several hours a day.
Yeah, and you might be able to get one room done. But just like a mop, a dustpan, a cleaning montage, some chipper, gross 80s music.
Fantasia style, I got it.
Yeah. Which shall not be hummed because that's trademarked, and we want to keep this stream going.
I think if we can do 10 seconds of it, it's fair use. But I'm not the. Oh wait, I am the bard. I don't sing. I can't use the "I'm not the bard" excuse.
Wow.
In this game. No, that's never mind. I was thinking. This is a pretty fair assessment. I do believe, first of all, we are, of course, very appreciative of what you have done for us to give us this estimate and your honest opinion and professional opinion. We will have to await the arrival of our other partner, and we'll have to discuss it amongst ourselves. And we will get back to you very quickly as to how soon we can begin the work.
And just like a segue, you hear this loud dwarven woman. All right, is this where it is? And you watch as Ingra just walks into the tavern. Kiara. Oh, right. Well, hello.
Ingra, these are my companions. We have Bevyn. This is 6 Days of Summer. You may call him Six. And this is Darling Anna. And I'm afraid I'm not sure of this other individual, though I am Kiara, and it's quite nice to make your acquaintance.
My name is Micken. It is a pleasure to make yours as well.
Oh, hello, Micken. I'm assuming that you're one of our guild friends that we've been hoping to get a hold of, yes?
Yes, I am with the Carpenters, Roofers, and Plasterers Guild. I'm here to fix up this.
Yes, fix up all of this, thankfully. Quite frankly, I'm glad you're the first one to come because this definitely seems to be the place that needs it the most.
True. It's going to take a lot of cleaning, quite a bit of labor work, but I think if myself and 3 other laborers, maybe even a couple of apprentices, we could probably get this done in 10 days.
That sounds quite reasonable. I guess it comes down to the amount that you'd be needing for this, of course.
And he looks to the others. He looks to the others to.
We have been given an estimate by Mr. Micken, and we can discuss it at a later time. In the meantime, who is this very handsome woman you have brought with you?
Oh, this is Ingra. She's going to be helping us with our other situation that we need to address, which, again, if perhaps it might be better to go upstairs and discuss as well together, just to save Mr. Micken the aggravation of having to listen to something that doesn't really concern him.
All right. Is there anything more? Did you want me to begin?
I think we would like to discuss it with amongst ourselves, a sort of business meeting, if you will.
Certainly not a problem. If you need, you may send a paper bird or may come in person, and we can begin fixing it all up.
Oh, that would be quite wonderful. If possible, I definitely would like to come in person to see where you are established as well.
Certainly, that would be lovely. Thank you. And he kind of walks out.
I'm going to do one of those things where it's like just kind of hold the smile and wait until the door closes. All right, yes, so this is Ingra. Ingra is from Lysander and the Aspires and of Morning. Sorry, I'm a little frazzled right now, but she says she might be able to help us with Lift because of the history and everything. It might involve a little bit more than we thought, but I think she might be the very right person for us to do this. And she's also kind enough, and I'm looking to her just to make sure that I heard her correctly, that the fee that is normally involved with this is going to be waived.
Yeah. I'm going to be waiving the fee, mostly because I sort of knew Lef just a wee bit. So if it is Lift's dearly departed spirit, I would like to at least go have a word with him. I would like to talk with him and find out what's troubling him, because he's, like I said, he's such a good-natured person in life, and I'm just surprised that he hasn't moved on, and that's what the sad part is. So and not only that, I just wondered why he would turn so angry and so malicious. Anyway, so the most part of the troubles, you say were happening upstairs, yes?
Well, I think that's safe to say, at least based on our own experience. And I'm more than happy to let you use my own room if you need some privacy, so that way it's nice and tucked away and quiet.
Oh no, it's quite all right. I do just ask that I will come down and get you after. But for right now, I'll go up myself, and I will speak to the spirit on my own, and then I can give you a determination as to what happened.
That would be greatly appreciated, and I hope that Tamara is also on your side as well as your own Lysander.
Well, thank you very much, but I don't need luck when I have the Morning Lord in my heart. And she begins to kind of walk up the stairs, and I assume somebody unlocks the door for her, because,
I'm probably running ahead and
You're assuming we locked the door when we left.
You're assuming you still have a home.
Uh-huh.
No. Yeah. The entire home has been lifted up and carried off.
All of Bevyn's books in what I've now taken to thinking of as Bevyn's library.
I like that.
And so she goes in and closes the door behind her, and you four are free to discuss stuffs.
Well, I've sent the message to Silvermane, so we'll have that later on. It looks like you've been quite productive in making connections.
This is true. Anna took us to meet some friends of hers, Embrick and Avi from Steam and Steel. A wonderful couple of gentlemen, a sort of almost fire and steam and steel themselves, it seems. They gave us a box of nails as a sort of housewarming gift. You have the nails, yes? That's weird. I knew a tabaxi by the name of Bag of Nails once.
What happened to him?
I think last I heard he was heading down to Port Nyanzaro.
All right, well, obviously nails are going to be a supply that we need. So you've made connections with... Are they nail makers, or what else do they do?
We went to the stone house, the guild house of the carpenters and the stonemasons and all of that such thing. And Mikin, he was expecting us. Came right away to inspect the place and give us a quote that it would take him about a 10-day and about 1,000 gold to get this place up to good as new.
Well, considering the state of things, I'm not exactly surprised he has such a price. Lucky for us, they were expecting us, so it wasn't something where they've been taken by surprise, I suppose. I guess Fairkettle's been getting word around that we're here.
I don't think that's a very bad thing either.
No, if anything, it takes some of the footwork out for us.
Precisely. Bevyn and Anna, how do you feel about this?
I mean, how do we even know that it's Liv? And she's like, she hasn't even been listening. She's looking up at the door where the woman went into.
Well, that's what's about to be determined, I think, at this point, whether it is Liv or not.
I mean, it probably is, right? I mean, that kind of stuff just doesn't happen. I mean, just doesn't happen.
Are you worried about this?
And you can see that Anna is just like fidgeting and fidgeting, and she takes out one of her knives and she's fidgeting with it. He should have just given us the money.
What? Hold on. Let me figure out if that was me or Six. That you
Right?
said.
I'm like, are we dealing with the
Hold on. It was me. So I don't think Six caught anything.
He should have not cared about his precious gold. It was just a couple of gold. Should have just given it to us. And none of this would have happened.
Anna, I don't think we're still talking about Lifa. If we are, we're finding out some additional information.
She's like twirling the knife faster and faster in her hand. She's not even looking at anything else.
I'm going to look at Bevyn at this point. Is this normally her way of coping with something?
I've never seen her like this before. I don't know what's going on either.
Perhaps you can break the wall that's got her pent up right now.
So Bevyn's just gonna kind of go up to Anna and just put his hand on her shoulder and Anna, you need to tell us what's going on. We can help you.
As soon as you put your hand on Anna's shoulder, she takes the knife and she stabs it into the table. I killed him. All right? Happy now? Happy now? And she's like yelling it into the tavern.
Okay, at this point, I think Six would suddenly be like, whoa, what was this now?
So Bevyn's just gonna kind of reach over and grab the knife and pull it away and slide it into his tunic. So you killed Lith.
Yeah, I did. I killed him.
Oh, my darling girl, are you sure?
Was this a job?
Look, it was supposed to be easy. Old man, alone at a bar. Nothing could go wrong, right? We go in. This was before you, Bev. I was in a different group, and this was supposed to be easy. Just go in, get the gold, get out. But stupid old fool decided to fight back. Should have just given us the money. But he didn't want to part with it.
So Bevyn just kind of sits down. So you killed someone before me? But that's kind of what you do. So I'm not one to look bad on you on what you did. But how do you think that plays into what's happening to us now?
Oh, I don't know.
Can I just point out something here a moment? Bevyn, you seem to be rather casually glossing over the fact that Anna has just admitted within the city of Waterdeep to killing another citizen in Waterdeep. According to the what is it called, the code law or some such thing.
Code legal.
The code legal of Waterdeep. This is This is a serious crime against another citizen. If this was done without any kind of provocation or justification, anybody, and I'm getting noticeably quieter. If anybody used to find this out on it, you could be looking at quite a long time in prison. And now, if this is who you are saying it is, if the person you killed is in fact this Liv, and if this Liv was in our house and was harassing us and haunting us, there is now a cleric of the Temple of Lysander upstairs talking to the spirit. I hate to say it, but there's a good chance your goose is cooked, Anna.
Listen, there was a trial. I got off. The others were... They were charged. So no one else is looking. No one. As for the... I suppose she can't leave then, can she?
Oh, she'll be leaving.
What are you saying, Anna? And at this point, I'm just casually putting my hand on the hilt of my rapier. And my stance changes.
I'm not saying nothing.
If I
Anna.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Kiara. Your words may be more wisely chosen than mine.
Anna, if anyone understands what it's like being in a situation where your life is not exactly your own to make choices, I'm one of those. I understand everyone has a past, and we've done things in the past that we all very much regret. If this has already been gone through due process, and you've been released, I will tell you this right now. That woman who is upstairs trying to help us, she is going to leave this establishment. We are going to deal with whatever fallout might come our way. But I am not going to judge you based upon what others convinced you to do when you were younger and not as wise. But the choices you make today will not only affect you, they shall affect myself, they shall affect Bevyn, and they shall affect Six. And I know as much as you think reacting in one way might solve the problem, I have a feeling it's only going to lead to others.
Well, we're just going to have to see, won't we?
No, you're going to have to sit down and be quiet and see where this goes.
Anna is going to make a break for the stairs.
And Bevyn's
The
gonna
ones
have,
that are outside.
Yeah, or for the door, I guess. Yeah.
Bevyn's just gonna sidestep to keep himself between her and the door. But I'm gonna just I will again reach for Anna's shoulder, but I'll use Thieves' Cant to just kind of tap out a message to her on that the other two can't see or understand. Just letting her know that I've got her back, and I'll make sure that she's taken care of.
I think as soon as she feels that, you can almost feel her shoulders relax, and she just stops. And the slightest of nods.
At that same moment, I would have almost instantly moved to be standing in front of the door, using my feline agility to move twice my speed. to just do that cat thing where I just sort of, boom, I'm there at the door. But it appears that Bevyn has sort of stopped you before you started, but I'm still going to stand in front of the door.
All right. It's just then that the door to the tavern opens up, and Ingra stands there, and for probably one of the first times, Kiara, you notice that she is not smiling. He looks right at you, Anna. Ignores the rest of you. Looks just directly at you. Do you feel any sort of pity for what you did?
Anna gives this woman just the blankest stare she can muster and just looks at her.
So I thought. I will say that you have to make peace with what you did, not only for yourself, but for Liv. You'll get no help from me. And she turns around, and as she's walking out the door, she said, and I could hear every feckin' thing you said through the feckin' floorboards. And she walks out.
I'm going to go after her.
All right.
Ingra. Are we going after her, or are we gonna?
No, we let you go.
Yeah.
I went into the kitchen and grabbed some ale that I picked up at the 7-Eleven last week, and we're gonna sit down, have a calming drink.
All right. So Ingra's just single-minded dwarf, stomping back towards the spires of the morning.
Ingra, please, may I speak with you?
Well, you can speak to me as I'm walking back to the spires of the morning.
Happily, and just know that I have only just discovered what you did at about the same time, quite frankly.
I see. I should have guessed. I should have bloody guessed. Any sort of luck deity has to be playing on both sides of the coin.
I only play for Typora. Please.
Oh, what do you want me to do? Liv is angry because the person who plunged a dagger into his chest is now living in his home.
And rightfully so.
Right. So if that's the case, and you want to make peace with Liv, I'm not going to banish someone who's rightfully pissed off that the person who murdered said person is living in his home.
And did I ask you to do that? Did I say when you revealed what you realized, which I just realized, that he should be banished?
Oh, so what you're trying to say is, let me guess. Oh, please don't say anything to the guard or anything. Well, you're
Absolutely
lucky.
not. Let me know what I need to do on my end, and you'll be free of this. That is all I want from you.
Well, maybe you should talk some sense into your wee friend. Maybe teach her a little bit of empathy towards others. I mean, I'm not going to lie, but she sounds like she's 3 knife killings away from just being a complete and total sociopath.
Or perhaps she was raised by the right people.
Perhaps there could be, I don't know, but there could be a temple to Lysander, if that is a sort of thing she's into. Although I don't see her living very long if that's the case.
Perhaps she's just a troubled soul who's been brought up on the wrong side of things. I don't suppose you have empathy for those types, do you?
Oh, I do. But you see, that's the thing. I have empathy for those who can change. And from what I've just heard, also, please, seriously, like insulate your floorboards, because if you were ever to get amorous, it would be quite a disturbing picture for the rest of the bar that'd be sitting there. Anyway, look, you need to have a talk with her because there's something seriously wrong with her.
I'm not going to say you're wrong on that assessment.
Oh, I know I'm not wrong. Oh, trust me, I've never been more correct in anything since I took the banner. And she kind of like holds up her hauberk and her holy symbol. Liv was a dear friend, and Liv was a good person.
I'd appreciate if you could tell me more about him. The more I know of him, perhaps the more I can help her.
Well, instead of me telling you, why don't you just go ask the neighbors? You have an entire alleyway full of people who knew Liv.
Don't think that wasn't on my list of growing things to do, but you did say you knew him.
I did. And from what I did know of him, I know that he had a very big heart. He cared about the people that came in. He's somewhat religious. I mean, he prayed to Joaquin. He prayed to Shantea. He prayed to the usual standard gods.
Do you think it might help if I set up little altars in my own room of them for him? Well, I'm willing to do it for him if it helps.
You'll have to ask him.
Well, I'm not exactly versed in that, but what would be the best way to ask?
Oh, no. You can still speak to Liv. Liv, he will talk. Most spirits and specters will talk.
Well, I had that lovely little turret attached to my room. Maybe I could make it sort of a safe room for him.
It could be a start. But if it were me, I would have those two locked in a room together until they can sort things out.
I think I might have to do a little bit more work before we get to that point, though.
Maybe.
Look, I appreciate what you've done. I wouldn't have come to you if I had known what we both found out, quite frankly. But your time is very much appreciated, and I understand your anger, and I understand your frustration. Trust me, very much so.
Well, Lysander's blessings upon you, upon most of you. Just please get this sorted out, because I would hate the more you let this fester like a wound,
the worse it's going to get.
And Liv is going to turn from an upset spirit into something darker. Ghosts are emotion. They are the soul left of us here on the material realm before they can move on. And to understand that is that the essence of their being is who they've become.
What should I look for?
Maybe start by making a peace offering. I don't know, clean up the place, keep things nice, and I don't know, just be good and maybe try and talk some sense into that one.
I shall try and do the very best I can on all fronts. And again, I do thank you for your time.
Aye, well, a good harvest blessing day to you. And she just turns and walks away.
At this point, I'm probably going to take a big sigh and just sort of try and collect myself before going back.
And out of nowhere, you just see a table like flipping end over end as you were having this conversation, just flipping end over end, falling and smashing, which will totally explain the noise.
Yeah, that, because why not?
Yeah.
To break the wall, it's just, we've got a kitten. She's playing and going nuts. Sorry.
All right. So, as to actually, you know what? I think actually this might be a good place to actually end the session. You guys have gotten some pretty interesting info. You've had quite a moment. So
Revelations.
Revelations, skeletons, Moida. So I think it's probably a good place to stop, and maybe a good idea to see what you guys would plan to do next if you want to kind of talk it over. Everyone, thanks for joining us today. We had quite a moment. Anna revealed something pretty heavy, like really heavy, and yeah, I think the other players kind of just need some time to process it. Well, the other player characters at least. But thank you for spending your time with us today. I know it's a bit of a shorter session, but some of us do have a lot of things that we that need to get done. But we'll have a longer session next Monday, probably, more than likely. So I'm going to shut the hell up and let the people that make this campaign so rad talk, starting with Megan. Wait, that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Megan, and who plays the ever lovable Anna. And this is so awesome. I was literally like shaking in real life. So it was awesome way to set everything up. This has been incredible so far. Incredible players, incredible DM. So thank you.
He almost made it.
I almost made it.
You almost made. You did the same thing yesterday. You waited till the
I
very
know.
end.
But you know what happened? I clicked on the mute. I thought I hit the mute button, and it turns out that I hit the little arrow beside the mute button. Yeah, I know.
So close.
I just hate myself. But let's start. Let's go next to Bevyn.
So yeah,
Dwight.
Again, this was interesting. I'm so not used to just role playing randomness like this. I mean, and just for some background, in my normal group and the group I've been basically playing at in all of the D&D I've played, if you get a side quest, you murder things along the way, and then you murder things at the side quest, and then you murder things on the way back, and there's none of the role play. So to just role play, quote unquote, tedium, I love it. And then to have that kind of bombshell revelation at the end of the session was really cool. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I am still digging it, and looking forward to see what comes up. And I'm going to also drop a subscription into the chat here in a second. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I want to start doing something when my Prime subscription renews. I'm going to drop a subscription into this game. So
I'm counting it.
What's that?
I'm counting it.
We'll do it. Yeah. But
for Domain Dragon.
I love what Jake's doing with this channel. I've known Jake for several years now, and I'm really excited about what he's doing here, and I want to support that. So I'll spread the love. So,
and that tier 1 sub went to Sam, that Goram Wolf. So congratulations, Sam, that Goram Wolf, and thank you, Dwight, for that. And just a side note to what Dwight was saying, imagine being a DM for 7 hyperactive 6-year-olds that all talk simultaneously, but those hyperactive 6-year-olds are all 30 and 40-year-old men and 1 teenager. That's our gaming group for the last 4 or 5 years. And Dwight was DM for 4 years of that group.
You learn how to ad-lib really fast in that group, because I spent a lot of time. I wrote a huge campaign and had all these things planned out, and that went out the window so fast because nobody does what you.
That's what we call a trial by fire.
Yeah, you just throw you in the deep end and you burn alive somehow.
Well, and to add to the complexity of it, we're all playing goblins.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason, a very specific reason, that you will never see a live stream or a recording of our sessions. It is mostly it's just it's unintelligible, really. It's just so much talking and it's insanity, but it's the best kind of insanity. I think it's where all of us adults and that one teenager who is my son, so he's not an unsupervised teenager, we all just can, let loose. It's one of the beauties of D&D. There's no wrong way to play. Dwight might argue that as the DM of that group, but no. So I believe that's on up to you, V.
Yeah, let's go right up there.
Okay. Hi. This was hold on. See, this was our noisemaker. Okay. This is the one who was making all the sounds. You can be angry at this sweet little face.
Who's going to be angry at that? It is my spirit animal.
Actually, yeah, she's probably more on the mark with 6 than my other 3. So I'm Bea, the crazy cat lady. No, this is absolutely wonderful. I love the whole RP intense and the wandering and the dividing and not getting killed because you've split the party. I mean, this is absolutely amazing.
It's okay right now, but
it's
wait.
It's okay right now, but my God.
You wait.
We have some interesting things coming up. Thank you very much, Anna. But no, I mean, this is the thrill of it, like just finding out the backstories and how they're working their way in, and it's absolutely awesome. So I'm loving this. This is very cool.
All right, take us home, buddy.
And yeah, I am as it says up here at MTD_Jake on Twitter. I am the host of Mini Terrain Domain live stream games. I am the Mini Terrain Domain Presents. And real quick, Angra has just subscribed with the tier 1 subscription. Thank you for that. That's going to grant us another domain die, which I feel with what Anna has dropped, we are going to be needing domain dice in the coming session. So I appreciate Mike, all of the effort that you put into setting everything up, a world building and a kind of a cityscape and almost like a microcosm of an empire building type campaign is your bread and butter, man. I've seen you thrive in those kind of settings.
You know what's funny though? I decided to try something new for tonight for my prep work. And this is my prep work for tonight.
You taking a page out of the old
like that's literally all I wrote for the entire session. Everything else is blank. Just make it memorable. Done.
That's how I like to prep, minimal prep. But I know you've done a lot of leading up to the campaign.
I have, yeah.
You did a lot of the groundwork that you need to do as a DM to understand what we're doing, to understand the adventure module and everything, so that you can run these sessions with the comfort to let us crazy. As you said, you got one character who's, or rather, Ingra said, who's 3 stabbings away from becoming a sociopath. Which that needs to be a t-shirt. Anna, 3 stabbings away from becoming a sociopath. But it's just, it's awesome for me on Monday nights because I have a little bit of, the work of being a producer running the stream, but otherwise I get to just focus on being a player and focus on my character and the interactions with the world and the other characters. And I absolutely love that. So I'm thankful, Mike, for all the work you've done and that you're bringing to this campaign, and everybody else joining us on this endeavor on Monday nights. And of course, you will see, if you've been here on Sunday nights or tune in on Sunday nights at 8:30, you can see both Megan and Mike on our Sunday night Tomb of Annihilation Cult of Personality campaign. Or if you tune in on Thursdays, in particular this Thursday, when we return to the Sunless Citadel, all the way over there on the far side, with V and then Megan down below, along with Jeremy Lilly of Erasmus Expeditions and DM Scotty from the DM's Craft. We return to the Sunless Citadel as we're on the homeward stretch of that mini campaign, which is turning into a more of a campaign proper as we're preparing to move on to other endeavors as well. And within the next, probably right after the first of the year, or by the end of this that campaign, we'll be announcing a new party member will be joining the second part of that campaign. So I'll be excited to announce that. In the meantime, again, thank you to the people who tuned in tonight. Thank you to Dwight for gifting the subscription, to Sam, that Goram Wolf, to Angra for the subscription. Everybody who tuned in to watch tonight. I'm actually going to do something I haven't done in a while as we get ready to head out of here. And I'm going to just double check to make sure that they are streaming. We're going to do a raid. I know we don't have a lot of people, but we are going to send everybody on over to, yes, we're gonna raid Straticus. Straticus was actually in the audience earlier and has raided us in the past. So if you're in the audience and you get carried over on that raid here in a moment, when
they like war cries, so we need to come up with, like,
when you show up,
3 seconds away.
give an all capital Mehtedeh.
There you go.
That's MEHTEHDEH. And you'll hear that in just a moment as we sign off. So I'm gonna set up I think you have to do @ I'll try it and see. I haven't rated in a while. So we are going to get out of here. I'm going to roll the channel ID and slip into the post stream, and then we're going to send the raid over there. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you to V, Megan, Mike, and Dwight, and everybody else. We're going to end the stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it along with me if you want. Mehtedeh. And I'm going to activate the raid.
Indeed.
Hot damn.
All right, now, hold on.
Indeed.
Now.